Did.
For me, it was all about just wanting peace. That was really my interest as a seeker. Like, where's where's the peace? Wasn't there a commercial, Sid, back in the 70s? Where's the beef?
Yep.
Where's the beef, Michael?
So where's the peace?
Yeah.
Where could the peace be? Well, the Bible says it's beyond understanding. So maybe the mind isn't the right tool if one is interested in peace. Like, what if peace isn't something that you go get? See, it's not a doing.
Mhm.
And everybody feel free to please jump on in if you have anything to share.
So even the doing is the peace.
Peace appearing as doing.
Yeah.
Good.
Peace appearing as frustration. Like thinking that you're the doer, at least here, there was not any peace in that. So there's just life. life does all. That's the peace.
May I share?
Yeah, please. Hi, Jackie.
So I wasn't looking for peace. I was just looking for enough money to pay my bills. And every time I got a client, got the money, paid the bill, I was like, and it went on for years, decades. And I did so much, networking and speaking. And oh, dear God, I did it all. And, as you were saying, that was so much of doing. And I want to share that in the last 3 months, seems like I've had a big, huge breakthrough. Michael, I'm really grateful to you for this because I haven't been able to come on these calls because I've had square dancing at the same time. And dancing is more important than the Zoom call.
Damn right.
But now dancing is over and here I am. But I wanted to share that in April, I live in Canada, so we had our elections. So for 4 days, I did the advanced polling, 16-hour days. I've never, and my whole body was aching. I had to bend, and my fingers, even now, I've got arthritis, and I had to write, I had to bend. Literally, my hands, my neck was aching. And I kept repeating to myself, and people were just coming in with their kids and their dogs and like, so the advanced polling was 9 to 9, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. plus the extra hours. And I just kept saying to myself, and I kept seeing through the pain, like everything is just happening. It's just happening. And it's, I can't explain, but through the pain, there was a sense of calm in my body. And then on the 28th of April, we had our final polling day, and that also was 7 to 7 and 15, 16-hour days, whatever. And the same thing. And on Monday, I went to the doctor because my fingers are not closing, and I know it's arthritis. And I went for an X-ray and a blood test. And even as I'm driving, I'm sitting, I went at 6 in the morning, and there was no cars. I'm saying to myself, the road is just appearing. The road is just appearing. And even as they were taking the blood test and the X-ray, I'm like, who's it happening to? It's, the blood test is just happening. And I'm just being an observer, just being an observer. And I've realized that I have to be, although I yo-yo back and forth to being myself and then being Jackie and getting caught up in the story. There's so much of calmness and peace that's come over me in spite of the pain and the arthritis story. And it's just a story I keep telling myself. It's just a story. So I want to thank everyone, each and every one of you. I've come to the space of, I guess, deeper understanding of who I truly am. So thank you for the listen.
Thanks, Jackie.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So, Michael, it always seems like the pain has to get so bad before we give up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the opening happens. It's there all the time. But I'm not powerless. I think I can do it. I think I
Mhm.
got it figured out.
Mhm.
And until that stops or it comes to a screeching halt. And I wanted to ask Indira, because she was involved with Al-Anon for a number of years. I heard her mention that some time ago, months ago. And I'm in it, and I've been in it for a number of years. And you can see where people come there because the pain is so bad. They can't, uh, they don't know what to do, and they're coming for help. And I'm just saying that, is there something that you were able to do to give them this kind of it, an introduction, even, or something? Because I tried different things myself in the meetings and stuff to try to help, but a lot of the meetings, you don't have a chance to because of the format of them.
Yeah. So when this was seen, like what Jackie was sharing, everybody has this the subtleness. It was like that feeling or that thought that I had to keep going to get peace dropped. Like it wasn't here anymore. And I still go sometimes, but I go in the beginning, it was just curiosity. And I go for the connections. There are friendships there.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't go there to help or assist or any of that. I just go to sometimes I don't feel the need that I have to go. I used to entertain that thought that which is really free, that in order for me to feel good and to be at peace, I need to up my meetings. I don't resonate with that anymore. And I don't resonate with my higher power either. That doesn't,
Yeah.
that's like saying something outside of me is helping me. And I feel like, I mean, language is really hard to describe this, but I feel like we're all higher powers, but with skin, you know, emptiness. I like to call it beingness, which is completely different from thought.
Mhm.
So sometimes I go and it's like a scratch on the wall. Sometimes I'll hear things because I don't resonate with a lot of the lingo anymore. Um, but what I do is I just go and feel, whenever I just go and just sit and feel. There's like this movement to just sit and feel everybody that shares.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of like integrating with relationships because I'm not going to go in there and talk about emptiness. They're not going to understand what I'm saying. I remember we had a meeting. The topic was on sanity or, I don't know, one of the steps. And I remember there is a memory of sharing about peace, sanity. Oh, it was sanity, step 2. And what came to me was that sanity is always here, but it can be covered up
Mhm.
with people
Yeah.
pleasing, approval seeking, and all of those other machinations or whatever. But the sanity is always here.
Mhm.
Or it's just a word. So behind sanity is just beingness. I didn't say beingness, but I knew what I was talking about. That was important uh, that I knew what I was saying. I can feel what I was saying, and it didn't matter what they thought.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't. That was one of the relief. There were so many reliefs. That was one of them. Like I don't have to go, to get peace because who's getting peace? But that doesn't make sense anymore. Peace to me is just a word, but it's what we are. This wholeness, this quietness that everybody on this camera has.
Mhm.
There's no escaping it. This emptiness walks, it pees, it poops, it laughs, it smiles, it cries. Emotions arise in this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Does that
Thanks
make
for
sense?
sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. They talk about sharing your experience, strength, and hope,
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of a thing, that. So share the experience, and sometimes I'll bring up that they don't realize it but we're already okay.
Yeah.
It's already
Yeah.
okay, even though you're in tears over what's going on
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
spouse or a child or something, but to kind of back off of the identification with the thoughts and feelings and emotions, those things, kind of just starting to notice them and actually be, even you can call it the awareness or something like that, that's aware of them, so you're not them. It's like a first step, and then you give that up to later on. But when people are stuck, we could say it's all part of the whole, and they're wanting that to be that way. That's why it is. But at the same time, they're coming there because they don't know what to do.
They're stuck in thought. They're stuck in
Oh,
identification
definitely. Yeah,
stories.
definitely. They're stuck in
And
the story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time in the beginning when I was listening to them because I didn't see any victims,
Yeah.
because I don't see that here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
the stories had legs. I always say legs. And
Mhm.
I can bring up a memory too and discuss it with someone, but it doesn't have legs.
Mhm.
It's it's just a story. It's just a memory. That's it. It's what's happening right here. It's the air conditioning blowing. This is the reality right here, breathing, talking to you guys, hands moving. This is it.
Mhm.
Mine doesn't like that, but I
Mhm.
see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got something to add to this. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
I
Sid.
Good.
Hey, Sid.
Gosh, Indira, so beautiful what you just shared. Thank you.
Mhm.
And Michael, and starting it off with the peace and the frustration. That's what I've been with, peace and the frustration, and then just the being the peace. And I guess I got a follow up for you guys. First about the what it's like, the peace in frustration, when there's a sense of even being caught in frustration and then knowing in the midst of that what Indira is sharing is the peace that we are. And then in talking about Al-Anon, what it brings up is kind of what Indira was saying. You're not seeing any victims there. Because I notice in my system when I'm with people who are suffering that there can be a sense of something can buy into kind of helping, serving, and there's a beautiful movement of that from kind of wholeness, but there's also a little bit of getting hooked. And I'm wondering if you guys, what comes up for you?
Frustration can happen here. Anger can happen here. And it's seen. That's it. And it's uncomfortable. It's messy. Sometimes it's messy here. There's, and the mind doesn't like that. It doesn't want to. And I hear thoughts sometimes, resistant thoughts that come through, but that's okay. But it's seen as just it's so great because there's nothing to fix. If I stump my toe, ow, hurts. I could be fully in that, or triggered. I could be fully in that, just fully triggered. And then it's done. And the pieces to me is it's behind all of that. It's here. it's just witnessing, seeing this, noticing all of that. And there's nothing to fix. That's the freedom. When emotions come up, they come up. I don't have to write about it or anything. They're just felt through. And I feel like when Michael said peace passes all understanding, there's no understanding in this, because you are it, because it is it. It's so simple and it's so clear and it's just right in front of you, right here. Tears, grief, tears fall. Feeling the sensation of the tears, feeling the sensation of the uncomfortability. Sometimes I feel it in my stomach or in the stomach area. Just being fully in that. And it's like a permission that happens here. The permission to just be in that. And that's the peace. It feels, to me, that's a relief. And then it's forgotten.
It doesn't continue with it and identifying with it, and then playing the victim card and trying
Yes.
to get allies to say that, oh, poor you, and all this identification goes on. Yeah. So it just kind of allows the thing to happen and is there fully with it, but yet it's lighter because it's not sticky.
Right. Stories.
Yeah.
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 I remember sitting on the couch and just feeling frustrated. And what was even difficult, or I don't know, to me it seemed odd, but I guess it's part of all of this, is that I couldn't grasp a story. Well, I just felt the frustration. I was like, wow, it's like a curiosity. Wow,
Mhm.
this is interesting. There's frustration coming, and I don't even know why. It's like watching it. So be in it,
Yeah.
pout in it. It's okay. It's all okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no one to get hooked, but in the story of Alexis, there can be sort of a moment, where the whole body can feel a constriction. That's sort of what I would refer to it as, the perception of a separate self. And it's so painful. It's so painful that, at least in the most recent chapters, there's like an immediate dropping of
Mm.
whatever was happening, whether it's like hanging on to an idea or a piece of chocolate or whatever it is. It's like, never mind.
Mhm.
Hi, Alexis. I
Hi, Indira.
didn't even know it was you. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Yes.
It's coming from emptiness.
Yeah.
It's just appearing. Yeah, the voice. Mhm.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Alexis. Yep.
What about you, Sid? Can you answer your own question?
What about me? Question. Hmm. Well, it's such a beautiful edge, like knowing peace within frustration, knowing Alexis and I are in this we're in this IFS community together, and there's almost like the sense of a part that has frustration, but it's still being held, or an aspect of Sid that's feeling frustration, but in the same time realizing and knowing that it's all of this radiant presence, this beauty, this peace. And I watched that edge in my system where it's almost like in IFS terms, I blend or identify with the frustration. The frustration gets so loud that it can obscure the sound of the peace, of the knowing, of the clarity. And that seems to be really interesting dance to watch in my system, is that relation. And that's why it was wonderful hearing you say it. So the way you said it, Michael, about the peace and frustration. And the other part that I was asking about of it's a little trickier, the helping, and it's almost the meaning, and
Yeah.
it's a meaning question of like where the person finds meaning in time and experience, right? And I think it kind of that's where something can get hooked on that level of meaning and contrasted to this Indira sitting in the Al-Anon, and it's just the meaning of being and being with and feeling and being here. It's the meaning of the beauty, the essence that we are. And so I'm noticing that play happen in me. How's that, Alexis?
So, Sid, I have a question. If a wave decides to help another wave,
Mhm.
is that really what's going on?
If the wave believes it's separate from that other wave,
Right.
I'm not sure if I'm hearing your question,
Are,
Michael.
aren't they both ocean? Even if both waves think they're separate, are they not already the ocean?
Yes, they are.
So it's just that illusory sense of doership that can show up.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, this is where we this isn't it's I see I can't tell if it's an edge in Sid's opening or if it's just a different perspective than what I hear from you with that the sense of agency and the sense of doership, where I would say that in my system I'm interested in kind of the both. Like there's only beingness here, there's only ocean that's moving, and the sense of I don't want to miss a moment of like the preciousness of this sense of Sid as a personality in this lifetime, and who does have a sense of making a choice like wow, I get to be here with my friends tonight on Zoom. And I'm not sure, so
Well,
back to you.
let me ask you, Sid, is there a line between the wave and the ocean?
The wave is of the ocean, it's
Yeah.
inseparable from the ocean.
So you can play as both. That's what this is doing. This is the ocean already. You're already the ocean playing as a wave.
Mm. And I think that's been important to me in my in this opening. It's almost like in my I sometimes I say not wanting to go too far. I don't want to just get lost as the ocean. I want to there's a sense of wanting to be able to continue knowing the apparent experience of the wave and time and all of the fullness of the senses of this experience of life while also knowing ultimately like what you're saying like dude, you're the ocean.
Yeah, beautiful.
But it's tricky because what I'm saying can also be used by the it can be used by the separate ego by a part to kind of justify kind of staying in identification. So it's a tricky edge what I'm sharing right now. And that's why I was being kind of honest in my vulnerability. I'm
Yeah.
not so clear about it.
Yeah. So here, that sense of doership was very painful.
That seems to bring up everything that I've done and other people do, so-called from their experience to help another, is an illusion because it'll never happen.
It's just
Because,
like,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
It's like it's very effortless. It's very simple. I feel like the mind wants to make it
Yeah.
harder than what this is. You can't teach this because it already is. It, it's almost like I was sharing with Michael the other day that I had a friend that reached out to me, a young boy that reached out to me, and there was time. I was able to text back and forth, grieving. He's having a hard time, whatever. His grandmother passed away, and I didn't even know that he was going to reach out. It was just a moment, and I was just going with the flow, going back and forth, holding a space for him, and it felt really good. And then it was done, and wasn't me trying to do anything. It just happened that way, where I was available.
That's a
It's
great way of putting it too. That's it. It's almost like life is happening, and even me saying that, well, maybe it's this way or that way, and that's just trying to explain when life is happening. It's in the moment. Something is happening that's not a part of two people, two separate entities, two waves. It's just a response coming from the ocean or the water or the essence of what's happening.
Yeah, there was no trying. It was so effortless.
Yeah, yeah.
Infinite freedom appearing as caretakiness, infinite freedom appearing as gaslighting, infinite freedom appearing as jealous rage, all of it.
Yes. Yeah, it's all welcomed.
Maybe there's like really no peace. There's just what's happening. It's not even that peace is like there's things arising in peace or peace manifesting as something. Could be that it's just this. It's just what's happening. No need for peace. It's just what's happening. I mean, if peace is there, then that's happening. But like it's not coming from anything. And like almost like I'm imagining no ocean, no waves, no ocean, no ocean, no people, no nothing.
I would say that this defies description.
I I I love Don's no ocean, no people, no nothing, nothing, nothing. And then it's like in my sense, it's just the flip side is just so equally in that nothing. It's like the emptiness in form, form is emptiness. It's that all of what you described. This beautiful, Don. Thank you.
Well, I guess I'll say something.
Hey, Addie.
But hello.
Hey.
So the other day I was talking to my boyfriend. He was like, we were talking about whether or not you should care what people think. And I was like, why would you care what people think? And he thought about it for a second. And he's like, well, why would you know a solution for yourself if you didn't care what people think? How would you know what you need to fix yourself with or how to fix yourself if you don't care what people think? I was like, that's interesting because if you don't have that outside view in a way, if you're just yourself, you can't know what you are or that there's even anything that needs to be fixed. And I guess that's why people are always so obsessive to get other people's opinions of them because it's like they are themselves. It's kind of hard to know what you are from the inside almost. You need that outside view to be able to validate what you are or even understand. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no should. I mean, there's no right and wrong, but there's nothing wrong with that caring. I remember Brene Brown gave a talk about how she had this list that she kept in her purse at all times of the 8 people that she cared about what she thought of her. I thought that was pretty cool. This was after she got a lot of, public criticism. And whenever she'd get upset or read a post, sort of just, tearing her apart or attacking, the way she looked or anything, she would just sit down and whip out that list and say the names aloud and, close her eyes and say, whatever it is, my brother, my husband, whatever.
Yeah, getting other people's opinions can always be really nice, especially when it's hard to know uh, from just your perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I still do that, getting other people's perspectives. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's like you say, well, what do you think of me? Asking your wife or your husband or your partner, what do you think of me? And then as they say it, it's like, oh, since since there is no separation, that's just me saying what I think of me. So thank you so much. You think I'm a crazy person? Oh, how beautiful. I must think I'm a crazy person. It's beautiful. So yeah, whatever they say, whatever they said, you said it first. Has to be. So you just go around the world and just say, what do you think of me? What do you think of me?
Mhm.
So I just want to share that what I was looking for turned out not to be in thoughts. It's not in a thought. So is there something else that's always here that's not not a thought.
Only if the thought is separate than that thing that you're referring to, because there's no separation.
Ugh.
If it's the thought, that's it. That's all. Done. Except we don't want the thought. And so then we make a separation. Well, it's a thought. It causes me distress. I don't want it.
Well,
It's not the thought. It's not the problem of the thought. The thought
what
is
if,
the problem.
so Don, let's take a
Yeah.
look, right? So does the thought, who does the thought refer to?
Nobody. It's just a thought. Thoughts refer to nobody. They're just thoughts. And look, I mean, or I'm looking for me, just thoughts. They're not referring. They may be referring to me if I say that. If another thought, I guess, comes in and says that thought is referring to me, but even that thought isn't referring to me. They're just thoughts,
Mhm.
So what if no thought has ever referred to you?
Sure, okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it say like, "Oh, I don't care what people think, and no one should care what people think." And it sounds like such a chore. I mean, if caring comes up, then that's just what's happening.
Yeah, we live in a society, and if there's no separation, we sort of have to always be considerate of each other to make sure we are all being, any of us are being too selfish, because that's how it works in a society. So if you need to care how other people feel and think in order to not cause too much distress, in my opinion.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, I was just on a bus. I just came off a bus, and there was this guy who was talking about consideration to this woman, and she turned around and, called him a dick. And it was just about to sort of pop off. And like this man, stood up and he was like, "We're all on this bus together. We're all gonna calm down." And he's like, "We're okay." I thought that was really cool. And everyone just like shut up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, Michael, what if life is happening right now? Thought comes up late, just tries to describe what just happened, and just like on the bus or wherever, in whatever story is going on, but it's just always an after. It's always an afterthought. It's not present with what's happening right as this is happening right now. It's almost like when we scan the screen, thoughts are going, but they don't need to. There could just be a noticing, just like you've brought up at times. We could just notice this is happening right now. And in this moment, there could be silence and this is happening. And then thought comes up to try to try to see if it's good or bad for me,
Yeah,
if I need to be protected by it, just like the
yeah,
people on the bus. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So the thoughts, Manny, make all kinds of claims,
Yes,
all kinds of
commentators.
claims, and
Yeah,
they're rarely investigated. I
right.
did this, I said that, I upset her,
Hmm.
and they're just not investigated. The it the I thought that we take ourselves to be, does that actually have any power? That I
No.
thought that we think I'm doing this, and then after this Zoom is over, I'm gonna get up and get something to eat. It,
It doesn't have any power because it's seen as just thoughts arising, which has nothing to do with here, even
yeah,
though it's coming out arising through here.
in
Mhm.
Indira, beautiful. And what was also can be seen is that the thoughts take credit for
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
They give the impression that you need to think about it and to get something to happen. But what can be noticed is that action is already happening naturally.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Life is happening right now, but not to me, who I think I am. And when I finally see that those thoughts are not who I think I am, then it you live with them lighter. You just notice them and you realize that so what? So what if this thought is telling me these crazy things? And but for a long time I just, obeyed and did whatever they told me.
Mm.
It's almost like looking to somebody else for their opinion of who or what I am. That's what I'm doing with thoughts.
Yeah, it's just not investigated deeply
No.
enough. Thoughts are very clever, and they're very elusive, and they can distract us and get us off the scent. And to really be with a thought, the thought that this is me, the I thought, the thought that you take yourself to be, that thinks it's thinking, worrying, deciding what to eat, all that,
Mhm.
that has to be with in a real way. And you
Yeah.
can begin to notice that everything is just doing itself.
Yeah.
I
We're-
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love your line, Michael, and I'm not sure I still have it, but the sense that no thoughts are referring to me. I've just been and then
Mhm.
it's funny, it's like we get the netty of it. No thoughts are referring to me. And then there's looking at it like you and Manny are right now, like the thoughts are really coming after. There's just the being, it's just happening. And then I also go someplace else with it. It's like the place that no thoughts are separate from what I am. All thoughts are of this. And that's all I got. But there was something interesting in that play for my system.
Mhm.
Thank you, Sid.
You can notice that every of one of those me thoughts it always has the word I in it. I'm tired. I'm aggravated. I'm fed up. I'm burnt out. It's it's front and center as if it's an actual entity. And so to really go into that and see that I thought it's not an actual separate entity.
Yeah, and sorry, did someone else want to speak?
Now go, Alexis.
Some of these thoughts are just like a tick, I mean, like those thoughts, I'm so tired, or whatever the thought is, I'm scared all the time, or, those tapes, they can just play and play and play, and it's just like there's really no meaning to it.
Mm.
Maybe we are the thoughts just saying that we're not the thought, that we're something different than the thought, but maybe we are the thoughts. You know, like no separation, just thought, nothing else.
Once I saw that, really looking, once I was able to see that there is no thinker, but just thoughts arising,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that was that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Because I thought, see, it's so hard because language, like, it's so dualistic that everything comes out of its mouth. But yeah, so once I was able to see that there is no thinker in here, it was like, wow, there's no thinker in here. It just arises as a separate self, or as the character, or as somebody. And I was identified with that. And so I believe that I was the thought. Like, and now it's more like, just they still come up, but there's just a noticing that it's constantly claiming, like you were saying, Michael, reaching for this drink right here. It's just a thought that just can't, even what I'm saying is thought, but there's no thought to this.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a burp or like any other bodily function. Like if you burped, would there have to be like a meaning for it? No, right? It's just a burp.
Or hiccups. Yeah, hiccups, uncontrollable. There's no thought to hiccups. It was really cool today. I was in the city and I was just watching people walk, just like interesting to just see the bodies walking. And I can remember believing that I was doing that. Like, I was in control of the body. And it was beautiful to just see people just walking by, like to see the movement of the legs. And they're just being walked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Indira. It's life is singular. Life does all. Life moving as people, as birds, as sky, as sun. Life as everything. Unified, one, whole, not separate. Even the appearance of separation is it.
Life is life as suffering. Same thing. So you see the person walking through the mall, you just see them walking. They're very beautiful there. And also person walking down the mall suffering, just as perfect.
Crying.
Just
Body.
as perfect. And just as perfect that when I see that the heart opens over here, and so I can go, hey, you need something? Like perfect, or I'm in a hurry, to go buy a donut or something, and I'm not concerned about their suffering because I want to go eat a donut. Perfect. I want to go to the mall with Indira and walk around.
That's funny.
I want to go to the mall with you, Don. And I want to go and ask everybody, like, what do you think of me? And what? Don, I mean, it was really beautiful what you shared, Don. The sense that every response is really just, it's of me speaking. I mean, that's, I'm gonna curse. That's like fucking profound what you said, and I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening?
Thank you,
Thanks
Mike.
for joining us, Sid. It was nice to see you here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Each and every
Michael.
one of you.
All right, thank
Love
you,
you
Michael.
guys. Mwah.
Indira.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks, Michael.